Okay, so the tape's all in there, Ray. You're under arrest on suspicion of rape. Okay, the allegations are concerning 5 females who've come forward and made complaints to the police about the years 1962 to 1975, those areas of time, okay? This person who's making this complaint says you had a record shop.
It was a disco shop, disco hire shop.
Disco hire shop. Well, what Kathy says is she did work in your shop as a cleaner, stroke, Saturday girl, stroke, bits and pieces, when she's 12 or 13.
Okay.
She probably had sex around that time with you about 10 times.
10 times?
Yeah.
Excuse me if I have my mouth wide open. No, nothing. Nothing ever has happened like that.
And she actually introduced another girl to you, who was only about 12 at the time.
Absolutely no. Who said that?
This is this girl who's made a woman who's made her come forward now.
Is she mentally imbalanced as well?
As far as I know. Okay. So, around this time, have you ever had any sex with any underage girls?
Not to my knowledge, I've never had sex with any underage.
After the interview, Ray Teret was released on bail.
So what did he know about Teret?
He knew that Jimmy Savile had been investigated at least once or twice, and in the course of that they investigated Teret as well.
Right. Do you know when and for what?
Initially for hanging around school gates, Teret.
Right.
Eventually, Ray Teret came up with the cunning plan about having a junior disco.
Do you know what the age limit was for that disco?
Under 16s, I think it was. He timed it so that mothers could go to bingo at the front.
Right.
And the kids could go to the disco at the back, so along those lines.
Right. And what was the makeup, you know, in relation to how many girls, how many men?
Mostly young
age-wise?
girls.
How young? Would you
Well,
estimate?
younger than me, and I was about 19 or 20 or 21.
Right.
So they were 14, 15-year-olds, definite.
Right. Did you ever see or witness Teret doing anything? Or?
Not personally, no. He was a bit sly. And the one time I knew Savile was there, it was in the summer, the window was open, I was emptying the van,
Yeah.
and I heard Savile say, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
And I assumed Ray Teret said, "Oh, he's Pete, one of the roadies."
Yeah.
And Savile said, "Get rid of him."
Right. You mentioned something about names being written on the wall.
Yeah, it was 3 charts.
3 charts.
Yeah, that was all young girls, no, girls' names.
Right.
Initials for schools, phone number, various stars next to the names.
Stars.
Yeah.
Right.
i.e. 5-star, 4-star, whatever. And what time was best to call them. So I'm assuming that was when the parents weren't about. Or...
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Operation Canute began when a number of women made allegations against Teret. One of the first to come forward was Kathy.
Just try and give me as much detail as you can why you're here today.
I found myself getting churned up because, whenever you see Savile on the television or the radio, the mannerisms and stuff, it reminds me of Teret, a lot of it. And, you know, I went round to Teret's shop when he got this music shop. It was just round the corner. And I was about 12. And I had a Saturday job there. I thought Teret was my friend. I kind of trusted him as a friend. I can't remember what the deal was. There's some records or something. If I brought a friend round, I don't know. Some demo, bloody cheap, crappy demo records. And I took my friend to see this man. He had me doing sex while she was there. Like, you know, this is what you do. And when he'd finished, I just went home. I just felt so embarrassed.
Able to draw like a planned drawing of his flat, his music shop,
Try my best.
and with where all the different bits of furniture and
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah. Okay, you come up the stairs, right, into the hallway. In the hallway, it had all along in the walls, in the hallway, it had all the phone numbers, pictures, all sorts. It was just like graffitied wall.
It's talking about sex, it's talking about violence, and some police officers aren't comfortable with it. Some are great at dealing with a robbery on a bank or a bookmaker's, and they'll jump at the opportunity to investigate something like that. But for rape, not everybody feels comfortable having to go and deal with someone and ask them intimate details about the incident, and not only that, intimate details about their past as well.
I'd like to say I can switch off and you can go on holiday and switch off, but we don't. We don't switch off. It does form part of who you are. You know, cops will tell you they turn it off when they go home. We don't. We don't.
So is that being instinctively nosy or just having awareness?
No, I'm nosy. I'm nosy. You know, I might phrase it that I'm more aware, but I'm nosy. I think that's, and that's probably what makes me a good police officer, is that I am nosy.
The Operation Canute team is following up leads from Kathy, one of the first women to make abuse allegations against DJ Ray Teret. They've tracked down one of Kathy's friends from the 70s. Carol is going to interview her with another detective.
Part of the training that we do, you know, the trainers will say to you, OK, everybody have a private moment and think about the most embarrassing sexual moment you've ever had. So, you know, they give you a few minutes to think about it, and then they'll say to you, OK, now what I want you to do is to tell the person to your right all the details. Now, in the training environment, of course, everybody starts laughing and thinking, oh, well, I'm not going to do that. But it just gives you that moment, that sharp intake of breath about, but it's one thing saying think about it, it's another thing to say tell the person next to you. But it's just to give you a little bit of a flavour of what we're asking our victims to do.
Turn left, then keep right, recalculating.
All she has actually told me is that her and Kathy were best friends at school, they were in the same class, and she's confirmed Kathy's address and said that they would go around from Kathy's to a record shop round the corner that belonged to Ray Teret. Right. Okay. Do you want that filling up?
No.
The witness doesn't know that Kathy is part of the investigation and hasn't spoken to her for 40 years.
Okay. I'd just like for you to confirm you received a letter from the Greater Manchester Police, and within that letter I explained I was part of an inquiry that was investigating a man by the name of Ray Teret.
receiving that letter, I nearly passed out. Actually, I couldn't believe it. First of all, how you'd found me and my maiden name and everything. And the first thing I did was phone you.
You'll probably be doing most of the talking because I will ask you questions and ask you to explain things for me, but I will be asking you questions to confirm details and to get a little bit more detail about what you're saying.
My friend lived round the corner from where his record shop was and his flat above, and that was how I first met him. I didn't know whether I didn't know anything was wrong. I never like told anybody or anything like that. Just
I know this is difficult, Anne. Try to tell me if you can.
we heard other girls were going there as well. I think they were from the school up the road.
You will see in her the turmoil of telling a story about when she was 13 or 14 to trying to justify it in her head now as a 50-year-old woman. Those conflicts are gone, you can see them in her face.
Didn't bother going in the record shop then, just used to knock on the door at the side and just go up to the flat. And it was just always something sexual happened there.
Were you aware of anything else in relation to anybody else?
Yeah, I knew stuff happened to Kathy as well.
Did you and Kathy ever talk about what happened?
We must have done at the time, but I don't remember what we said to each other or anything like that. I think we just...
You're doing well. I know it's really difficult.
But I'm trying to bury it all, you know.
Okay.
I'm remembering all I can.
We do use the term building blocks in an investigation, and the starting block is the first complainant. The next building block will come from when you get another victim. When we find them, they had no idea how we had got to them. So we never revealed, we're here because X, Y and Z have mentioned you. So from there we got a very uncontaminated corroboration that this girl says, I was groomed at the same time as this girl was. And each of them did not know that we'd found the other girl.
I know this is difficult, Anne.
I can't tell you when it was, and I can't tell you what time it was or anything like that, but I'm almost certain in my own mind I've seen girls in his young schoolgirls from the grammar school in his car. Because they used to hang around that bloody record shop, you know what I mean? They were like flies round shit.
Today, Rod and his partner in the investigation, Carol, will interview Teret and confront him with their evidence.
How are you doing, Ray? You okay? Go on, Ray. After you, mate.
He has no idea how many victims they've found, nor how many allegations he faces.
Hello, this is Raymond Teret. He's answering bail this morning.
Mr. Teret, you're returning on police bail. The officers obviously wish to question you further regarding the matter you originally arrested for. Yeah. At this moment in time, I'm going to authorise your detention here so they can do that. Okay.
Okay, Ray. I'm just going to remind you, you've returned on bail today, what you're under arrest for. Okay, in detail. You're currently under arrest on suspicion of the following: the rape, unlawful sexual intercourse and sexual assault of Kathy Lansborough in 1972 and 1973. You're now also under arrest on suspicion of indecent assault of Helen Moorcroft in 1984, of the attempted rape and conspiracy to rape in 1964, the indecent assault in 1966, the rape and indecent assault of in 1968, the rape, unlawful sexual intercourse and indecent assault of in 1969, the rape, unlawful sexual intercourse and sexual assault of in 1974, the rape, unlawful sexual intercourse in 1976. I must tell you, you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you don't answer any questions, something you later rely on in court, and anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand what I've said to you?
I understand it, yeah.
Do you wish to make any reply to those?
I have no idea who they are.
Okay. Is the tapes in the room, Sergeant? Right, okay.
I would imagine he's suffering a little bit of shock at the moment because he certainly didn't anticipate that coming. He's made a significant comment. I don't know who they are, and we'll put that to the test. It's a matter for him whether he says he doesn't know them, he can't recall them, or he's being evasive by deliberate means. So all we can do is put the facts to him.
Okay, I'll see if you want something to eat in about half an hour. Okay. Thank you.
The whole case now hinges on Rod and Carol's interview with Teret. Get it right, and the Crown Prosecution Service will charge him. Get it wrong, and he could be released. They have 24 hours to get through all of the allegations. The next phase of Ray Teret's interview is about to begin. It will be led by Carol, who is a specially trained interviewer known as a Tier 5.
It is absolutely like a game of poker. When we talk to him about where did you live at that address, we know, the police know, actually, I've got evidence to show you there, but we don't tell him that. So we ask him, where did you live in the 60s? And he continues to avoid answering the question. We know the answer, but don't reveal it. And it is that ability to sit opposite somebody as close as I am to you and not reveal, and don't get that twitch in your eye, don't reveal that you actually know it, because that piece of information is going to be exposed right at the very end when we present him with the evidence that we've got. So it is about being able to sit and converse and not go, you know, don't let it show. Are you happy you can do that interview now without having to pick up paper?
Yeah.
Right, okay. I just want you to give him that overall impression that you know what you're talking about, and that it's all in your head. You're able to look at him, eyeball him, because this is what he needs now. He needs to get put under some pressure. So when you ask him those questions, I want you to look at him, right, as opposed to looking at your interview plan. At the end, we get to a challenge phase. So I absolutely want, in the challenge phase, pause before, because he's now thinking, what's he going to ask me? All right, deliver it with meaning. Definitely a lot of that eye contact that you were just doing then. And then when you finished your question, look at him. He's going to say no comment, and I want you to look at him and count to 10 in your head. Okay. Because he might want to fill that silence, which he's somebody who wants to talk. Yeah, he might have that need to just say something. Okay. All right, and then move on to your next one, and we'll deliver it like that. Okay. And knowing that you're building up and building up and building up till we get to the big ones where we have got independent evidence that he is having sex with young children. Yeah? And again, really specifically, when you finish your last one, a long, long look at him. Put that close to you so you can use it. I don't want you to get flustered. Don't have it in your hand because you're fidgeting. So it says ready for interview.
Right, okay.
The interview is going to reveal the testimony of one of the first women to come forward.
Okay, right, just to ensure that you know what we're talking about, I'm going to show you two images now. These are two pictures of Cathy Lansborough
when she was 12 years of age. Do you recognise that person in those photographs?
No.
She also states that you gave her a special knock so that you would know it was her.
No.
She described your bedroom as being messy, had magnolia walls, and had a freestanding clothes rail. You just referred to another image that was taken from a negative. This shows a picture of a bedroom, the bed in it, and a freestanding clothes rail. Is that your room?
No comment.
She goes on to state that you raped her. What's your sense of that?
No comment. Absolutely.
What did you think about looking at him? He definitely could feel the pressure, and then when he couldn't eyeball you, he looked away and looked at me, and then he couldn't eyeball me and he would look down. He was definitely under a lot of pressure there, and he really feigns this big surprise,
And it's
you know.
getting bigger and bigger. He's going to throw himself off the back of his chair.
It's exactly that, and his no comment gets louder, the bigger the challenge. He's panicking a little bit now, I think.
There are still another 15 victims for the detectives to get through. Teret refuses to speak during the interviews, but gives the detectives written responses to the allegations.
I've had no involvement in taking a complaint from a girl regarding the alleged behaviour of Jimmy Saville.
Yeah.
The scenario regarding this did not take place.
Yeah.
What was his reaction during that, Teret?
I couldn't see because you, numpty, sat right in front of me.
Sorry. I could hear a lot of tucking
I could
inside.
hear it, and I was trying to look.
Got the loo, Ray? Okay, go on, have a wee.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, go on. Let's get this interview out of the way first. This is for the third interview, another prepared statement. He's admitted being at the disco, he's admitted having a minivan, but denied defence. So, hiding a lie between two truths, it looks like. Still in consultation. He's averaging 55 minutes per consultation.
Rod and Carol have only managed to get through 6 of the 16 victims. They need to send Teret to court to ask if they can hold him for another 24 hours.
In the hope that we get the warrant, what is the intention for this evening?
That's it.
Not going to continue?
No. Right. The solicitor has requested that it be the last interview of the night because his head is mashed.
First, I want to ask you about the flat above Music Tower. You say you never took girls to that flat. You deny knowledge of Kathy. Kathy describes to the police a wall with graffiti consisting of pictures, names, telephone numbers. We've used professional decorators to remove the wallpaper. This has revealed a wall containing over 40 names, telephone numbers, and hand-drawn pictures on the wall. Explain that. You've been asked about your knowledge of the wall. You've made no comment. The wall contains numerous writings of the name Ray. There's even a hand-drawn picture of a face with your name saying, "You're good looking." Explain that. To date the wall, on image number 81, Kathy was here with the date 27/9/1975. What have you got to say about that?
No comment.
What's your knowledge of that wall?
No.
Is that a wall that you encourage girls to put the telephone numbers on so that you can contact girls? Is that wall all about sexual activity
involving you. Can you explain how it is that the victim is able to describe a wall that has been scribbled on with names and with pictures? Can you explain how she's able to do that if she's never been to the flat?
Did you rape Kathy Lansbury?
Three days of interviewing are over. The whole case is now in the hands of the Crown Prosecution Service, who will decide whether Ray Teret is charged with the offences.
You know, with all these historic sexual abuse inquiries that have been going on, you hear this comment time and time again, you know, it was a different time then. It was a different time then, but raping schoolgirls is still raping schoolgirls.
Yes, I will do. Okay. Lovely, thank you very much. All right, see you later. Bye-bye, bye-bye. Okay, authority to charge. All right.
How many offences?
32.
32 charges. It's worth no sleep.
Are we doing a full team turnout? I think we should.
Right.
We're here now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Mr. Teret, the officers and DC Carter in particular have liaised with the CPS throughout this investigation. They made the decision to charge you with a number of offences. Okay. It's going to be quite a lengthy process. We've got a room next door, okay, which will afford you a little bit more comfort and a little bit more privacy. Take a seat for me now.
What I say?
The law says that all we have to tell you is, in basic terms, is what you're being charged with. It's 30-odd charges, okay? Okay, and after each charge, you'll be asked if you want to make any reply to charge, okay? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Ray, if you have to listen to what I've got to say. You were charged with the following offences. You don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention now something which you later rely on in court, and anything you do say may be given in evidence. Between the 5th of the 3rd, 72 and the 4th of the 3rd, 75 at Manchester, raped Kathy Lansbury, a girl under 16 years, country section 1.1 and schedule 2 of the Sexual Offences Act 1956. Between the 14th of the 6th, 1964 and the 13th of the 6th, 1965 at Manchester in the county of Greater Manchester, attempted to rape a girl under the age of 16. Just to make a reply to that charge.
Yeah.
Between the 11th of the 5th, 68 and the 10th of the 5th, 69 at Manchester, rape a girl under 16 years of age, country section 1.1 and schedule 2 of the Sexual Offences Act 1956. Between the 14th of the 6th, 74, the 13th of the 6th, 75 at Manchester, rape a girl under 16 years of age, country section 1.1 and schedule 2 of the Sexual Offences Act 1956. Between the 1st of the 1st, 68 and the 31st of the 12th, 68 at Manchester, raped a girl under 16 years, country section 1.